How often do you feel alone because you're the only one that's sick and it doesn't seem like anybody else around you understands, or if anybody around you is even sick in the same way that you are? Hey, I'm Jeffrey Lynn. Welcome back to my channel where I'm documenting my battle with multiple chronic illnesses and sharing some of my experiences and lessons. So when you don't see somebody else that's chronically ill in the same way that you are, and nobody else sees that, and then a movie star like Selma Blair comes along and shows up to the Oscars on the red carpet with a cane, opens up about her battle with MS, and you're like, yes, I'm finally feeling validated. I finally don't feel alone, and finally maybe people will take me a little bit more seriously, including doctors. For me, it taught me a couple things about why we feel so alone and what we can do about it. Selma's appearance on a big event like the Oscars and showing up with a cane at the red carpet made a statement, because it was something that most people don't see in Hollywood. And Hollywood's kind of a general term for celebrities that you see in movies and in TV and magazines and even musicians. So these people are usually looking their best when you see them. And when they're experiencing real life problems, they're kind of like Selma. They just kind of disappear. And I would bet most of the younger kids and people watching this wouldn't even have seen her movies or known who she was until all the magazines started covering her and, focusing on her health issues instead of her career as an A-list movie star.
An emotional return to the red carpet for actress Selma Blair, known for her roles in cult classics like Cruel Intentions, Legally Blonde, and The Sweetest Thing. Selma revealing her multiple sclerosis diagnosis last October. The 46-year-old attending Sunday night's Vanity Fair Oscar party with the support of her customized cane.
And even those of us who grew up watching her movies forgot about her as she just disappeared out of the limelight. Hollywood and entertainment and media just rotates through people who are in their prime, and so you get this tunnel vision thinking, well, that's how everybody is and that's how I should be, and if I'm not like that, then there's something wrong with me. But you just don't see all the people that are suffering, including celebrities, because they are human, and they just kind of fade, and you just don't think they exist, but they're suffering somewhere just like you and I. Like Mark Ruffalo, who plays the Hulk in the Avengers.
He had a brain tumor. Ruffalo's big break came at the turn of the millennium when he was cast in the critically acclaimed drama You Can Count on Me, the success of which led to a role alongside the legendary Robert Redford in 2001's The Last Castle. He told Men's Journal, "It was big time. There I was with one of my heroes, Robert Redford, doing this walk and talk. This is my wildest dream come true. And then I found out I had my brain tumor."
You have a mass behind your left ear the size of a golf ball. We don't know what it is yet.
Ruffalo was informed that he had an acoustic neuroma behind his left ear and would need surgery to have it removed as soon as possible. Surgeons informed him there was an 80% chance he would lose his hearing and a 20% chance his facial nerves would be permanently damaged.
Honestly, I thought I was gonna die.
While the star came out of surgery alive and well, it wasn't without its complications. Ruffalo told the Acoustic Neuroma Association,
My father told me that my heart had stopped briefly on the operating table, and so that was scary to me.
Thankfully, his heart started beating again, but despite the removal of the benign growth, his battle was just beginning.
They told me that the surgery went well. They got all the tumor. They preserved my nerve, but I just heard a ringing in my left ear.
Half of his face was paralyzed. When that ringing faded, Ruffalo recognized that he'd lost all hearing in his left ear. Worse still,
I woke up after that, and my face was paralyzed, and I couldn't close my eye.
he told The Telegraph in 2011, "I was like that for about 10 months, and the likelihood of it ever getting better looked pretty remote. The chances of the nerves coming back diminish each month, and month 7 was pretty much the cutoff point. But finally, the paralysis did start to go. In all, I disappeared for a year. I mean, no one is going to hire an actor with half a paralyzed face."
And then there's another part to it. It's just the format of media, whatever, TV, movies, Instagram, it's edited down because we can only consume so much. Even if movies and TV shows try to show some imperfections from real life, it's just impossible to do that because suffering just, takes a lot of time, and we're just not going to sit there and watch somebody suffering for, 2 weeks. So all that gets cut down. I know just as well as anybody because having owned a fashion and entertainment magazine, we just schedule shoots and even photo shoots. We'll do a ton of makeup even before the photoshopping and editing. There's just a lot that goes into making an image much better than realities. And I also work with a lot of bloggers, and what they do is they take photos maybe one day a week. The rest of the time, they're living out daily lives, and they're not out great locations. They're not wearing amazing outfits. They're in their PJs on their computer working hard just like everybody else, and people do get sick. What you see on media, whatever it is not reality. We have this thing called the Dunbars number in our mind where we can only kind of keep track of 20 to 150 people. That's like the tribe number. The idea is, evolutionary speaking, humans used to live in tribes, and tribes range from like a small tribe would be 20, and then a small village or a town will be a tribe, and then that would be about 150 people. So that's the kind of people that you track, and that's the impression you get of what the whole world is, where the whole world is over 7 billion people. But you only compare yourself to the 20 or up to 150 people that's in your mind, and you think that represents everybody on the planet, but it doesn't, because the small number of people that you keep track of, especially with media, is an overwhelming percentage of those people are celebrities, are people that you don't see in real life. They're just an image on the screen that's edited down to be impactful and clean and not broken and sick. Because so many of our lives are through these screens now, we only see the curated, edited version of people's lives, and we also see the small number of people who are working in entertainment that are healthy. Again, if they're not healthy, like Mark Ruffalo, the Hulk, then they drop away for 7 years and you don't see them suffering, and you think they never suffer. And then they come back after they've done all their treatments and therapies, and they have maybe half a day or a good day, and then they show up on camera, and you think that's reality. You think that's their life all the time, but it's not.
So my speech, as you'll notice, is I have spasmodic dysphonia right now.
And you don't see all the people around you that are sick like us, because all the people that are sick, or all the people that are busy with financial problems or other family problems, hey, we're working really hard, struggling and fighting. So we're not going to be out looking like we're having a great time, because we're not. And the thing is, that's most people's life. Most people have health problems. Most people have financial problems, have family problems that they're dealing with, and they're not living their best life, whatever that means. And so we shouldn't try to compare ourselves to that. Anyway, I just want to make this quick rant about perception and reality, and how part of it is just what we see out there, because, in our daily lives, we probably just have a couple of family and friends, and maybe a coworker here and there if we're healthy enough to work. But the rest of the people that we see all the time are celebrities that are edited down into a perfect curated form. I mean, like, they're literally acting, they're actors. Maybe they don't feel well, but they're just on set and they're pretending to be strong or heroic or whatever. But as soon as the director calls cut, hey, they're suffering, and they're probably using various medications or running off to treatments just like we are.
And I was giving it everything to seem normal. And I was self-medicating when he wasn't with me. And I even got to the point where I said, I need to go to work and I have to stay awake. I dropped my son off at school a mile away, and before I got home, I'd have to pull over and take a nap.
Just gotta recognize that. Don't get yourself down. That it doesn't seem like there's anybody around you that's suffering. We're all here. It's just we're all fighting our own battles. But if you just try to reach out to me here on YouTube or Instagram, you know, there's great hashtag communities of people with chronic illnesses. We're all here and we all understand we're all going through the same battles.